Hey guys, Thetcglover here. Today's going to be a video talking about the next format. The next format is going to be an interesting format. It's become a trend now that basically every March format is really bad. The last March format, Dino Rabbits, Wind-Ups and Zectors completely took over, and you had to run free Veilers, and there was all these really stupid things that Konami didn't do, and it's something to do with their business practice, basically, about how they can get people to play at certain times of the year. You know, that's why the September formats are much better. The fact is that we know from the next format that Prophecy, once it comes out in Lord Attack on Galaxy, the Divine Judgment Day card, when it comes out, it's going to change the deck and it's going to change the format because it's so powerful on its own. And also, if it was really easy to beat, then nobody would be worrying about it. You know, it's that the fact is that it requires some siding, some really good siding, and a bit of luck as well to draw into your sides. Otherwise, they're going to completely own you. I've picked 5 cards here, which in a way have had their own sort of uses against the deck. Okay, I would pick like 20 cards because there's quite a few cards that can deal with the deck somewhat, but these 5 are just the ones that I feel are the most effective in my own sort of experience and my playstyle as well. If you feel that there's another card that could be on the list, then feel free to comment down below and what you think. Okay, so the first one is Deck Lockdown. I'll have a picture of it. Deck Lockdown, for 2 turns, your opponent cannot add a card from the deck to their hand except by drawing, and they can't special summon monsters from the deck. So it's basically locking down the deck, and it basically is the perfect counter against that card in terms of what the card does in its effect. But the fact is that Deck Lockdown only last for 2 turns, and you can sort of stall for time, but the fact is that it will be always a -1. There's not much you can do about that. You're just going to have to OTK with 4 or 5 cards instead of that. You know, you need to stop them from doing their stuff. And the fact is that the deck can actually do a lot more than just searching with Judgment Day. Deck Lockdown can only really beat that card, but the deck can do a lot more. And obviously, because it's a continuous spell card, they can just MST it, and then it doesn't really work. So you want to have that surprise factor. The next card is Thunder King Ryo, and I picked this one because it does a good job. Of course, Priestess of Prophecy being summoned is an effect summon, so Thunder King can't stop it. And obviously, Thunder King going to 2 means that you can't just side 3 of them now and hope to God that that's going to be your out to the deck. But it does prevent searching, and it has got a body on it, so it's a bit difficult to get rid of unless they summon a Breaker, crash into it, or they summon Breaker and then they use Spellbook of Power to try and get over it. But provided that you set it up with back row, you can keep your Thunder King on the field for a little while, and it prevents their secrets from searching as well. So it's a good card, and you know, it's always been good, so it's worth a go. Next one is Naturia Beast. Obviously this one is only specific to certain decks, but Naturia Beast, X-Sabers and TGs and Psychics, and there's a few other decks that can use it, and it's really good. 6 Samurais can use it as well, and that's probably a bit more mess than the other ones. The Naturia Beast is really good at negating. You know, obviously they're not going to play cards with the intention of getting their cards negated, so basically you can shut down their turn if they have no plays. But of course they can just summon Priestess and go run over your Naturia Beast, so you're going to have protection. Obviously by that point you're requiring your hand to be quite perfect. You need to be able to make Naturia Beast quite effectively without negging your hand too much, and then you need to have back row to stop a Priestess. So by that point it's getting a little bit crazy, but that's still a good out. You know, not every side is going to be perfect against the deck because there's always going to be a problem, but Naturia Beast is still really good. Yeah, Droll and Lockbird, that's my next one. It's been proven to be very effective in the OCG. What you can do is basically just deactivate Spellbooks Secrets after they've activated Judgment. Obviously Judgment is usually the first card to come down on their turn. So then you activate Droll and Lockbird, and then they search with their secrets, and then for the rest of the turn they can't do anything, and then during the end phase they can't even search for that one spell card that they activated anyway. So Droll and Lockbird is a really effective way to stop the searching basically completely, and it really can't be negated very easily because the fact that you just send it from your hand to the grave. And so it doesn't really interfere with your field or anything like that if you've got gauze and stuff like that. So Droll and Lockbird is a really good way to stop your opponent, but at the end of the day they don't have to do anything to actually, you know, they don't actually have to play any cards. They can just go defensive and just set a Spellbook Magician and just set a couple of cards, and then, you know, you've used up a card, you know. And the fact is, you know, they can search your secrets and someone like that, so they can still do a lot of plays. So Droll and Lockbird has proven to be really good in the OCG, but it's still in my opinion, is still kind of lacking a little bit. I mean, you can prevent judgment, but at the same time, I'd still rather give it a miss. The last one, which I've decided to pick last, simply because I've tried it on Dueling Network and it's absolutely insane. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. It's the only one out of the 5 that can actually destroy spell cards. If you don't know what it does, you tribute a dark monster with 2500 or more attack points, and then you declare traps or spells, and then you can destroy all cards in the field and hand, on their side of the field and hand, spell cards or trap cards depending which one you pick, and any cards that they draw for the next 3 turns. So basically they add loads of cards with judgment. You summon Ophion, which is the one that I tend to summon because it's 25-50 attack, and then you just set it, and then during their draw phase, after they've got a whole field of spells and they've got a whole handful of spells as well, you just activate it, you blow up like 10 cards. That's pretty much it. You basically just gain them like that, because even if they have Priestess in their hand, they can't actually do anything. So because they'd be like, oh, how am I supposed to summon this thing? So they can't. And I think, to me, if you have a way of getting a 2500 attack point monster that was dark on the field, then you should definitely run this card for next format. It's the only way that your deck's going to have a fighting chance. The other sides are good, but I feel like this one is, even though it's the most specific one out of the lot, it is definitely the best one to beat the deck, because as soon as you hit their spell cards, they basically lose, and they're going to have to be climbing back from nothing. It destroys the field spell, it destroys a lot of things, so they can still get monsters, but basically you're killing about 20 cards in their deck at one time, so there's no reason for you not to try and run a card like this. But I wouldn't suggest to go over the top though, because it does require it's a difficult activation requirement to get it off. That being said, I feel like these 5 cards are very effective, and as I said before, do comment down below if there's another one on the list that you want to add. And thanks for watching, and I apologise for not making a video in the last couple of days, simply because my laptop died and I had to completely wipe out everything, and that's why there's no intro video for today, so I have to make a brand new one. And yeah, so thanks for watching guys, and until next time, the T-Stew Lover is out.